What is going on, guys? So today we're going to teach you guys how to build a drag wing. We're going to build this thing from scratch, and we're going to use minimal tools. So I don't have a metal brake and I don't have a metal shear, things like that. I just have my air little scissors, little cut the metal, and we'll figure out how we're going to bend our edges and a few other little things. So something you can do at home with minimal tools. And so what I'm going to start out with is we've got just some cardboard, or poster board is what you're going to call it. Bought that at the dollar store for 50 cents. Definitely do that. That is going to save you from cutting your metal twice, because you can cut that as many times as you want and not waste your metal. So what I'm thinking is we're going to go about 1.5 inches into the trunk here. I don't want to mount it on the wing because I don't want to drill holes in the wing. So we're going to go pretty much inside here and use these screws that are already in the car to mount the wing on. So like I said, I'm going to go about 1.5 inches in here. So I'm going to start by cutting my cardboard 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to come around the rear quarter here, and we're going to end right about here. And we're going to do that on both sides. So I'm going to use the cardboard just to get a real nice edge and real nice clean cut there. And then from there, once we're all done, you'll kind of see as we're building the wing, we're going to build some side panels. I don't know what you call them actually, but some side panels that are going to come out with the wing and stuff like that. And we'll kind of shape those to the car as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fairly simple build. We did order, this is the only thing that we had to order, because we're not going to build a bunch of brackets for it. So what I did order was some, we're going to get it open here. You want to open that, Trey? So they're like adjustable struts. You see them on a lot of people's bumpers. Let's get it open here. On people's bumpers and wings and stuff like that. So they're just a little tiny adjustable strut. So you can see they got little heim joints on both ends. And they're adjustable from, like, I think it was 11 inches to 13 inches. So those will go from right here up to the wing. And that'll just help support the wing from flapping around and stuff like that. We will do a couple bead rolls in it to help support it. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the metal out, and we're gonna get started. Follow along. So we've got our stencil made. We measured out 1.5 inches on the paper here. I used a nice straight edge here, so we knew we had the right measurements for the 1.5 inches. And it's pretty simple. So what I've done is first I just laid it up here and matched the outside to the thing there, or to the outside of the quarter. Took my Sharpie, marked where I wanted it to be. Then I cut out to that line and then held it back up. Held my lines to right here. And then from there I just took my Sharpie and traced around the edge there to get that shape that I've got there. So it actually fits really, really nicely. And so you need one on each side, right? Make it simple on yourself. You just flip it over. Come to this side, same exact shape. So we're good to go. So what I'm gonna do is just measure this out, stencil it onto this one, cut that out, and then I'll tape them together, and then that'll be the shape of our wing pretty much for the start of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this over, do it identical, and catch you here in a second. Alright, so we've got the stencils all made out. So what I'm going to do now, because it's in 2 pieces, I didn't have a big enough stencil, is I'm going to measure the inner diameter here, or where I want the length of the wing. So give myself a little clearance. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put the metal too close to your body. If it's too close, the vibration and a shake will actually chip your paint and things like that. So you do want to give it a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch of clearance. So I'm gonna roll with about 41 inches even. So I'll come over here, get my paper all lined out here. And the biggest thing I'm looking for is making sure this back line is straight with itself. So on the metal, all the lines are straight, so I'm not too worried about that. Paper measurement. Just a hair. There we go. I'm liking that. So now that we're all together, I'm just gonna run a piece of tape down this edge here. Make this template one piece. After I tape it, I'm gonna measure it one more time. Measure 20 times, I don't care. Measure a bunch of times, cut once. Pretty good. All right. So, this piece of metal, I knew how long I wanted it the other day, so before I started cutting the rest of my aluminum, I plotted out what I needed here. So let's see, so I knew I needed 53 inches total, and that gives me an inch on each side to bend over for a flange to attach the side wings to as well. So without that inch there, this will be the length of the wing on that one side. So I think it was 51 inches total. So that helped lay out this template a little bit. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is just line it up with all my lines here. We're gonna trace it all out and we'll be good to go to start cutting. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you're cutting the metal or whatever, I'm gonna cut this side. Sorry, get my finger in there. I'm gonna cut this side with the shears. This is a factory edge cut. So this is the side that I want sticking out of the car because that's the one that's gonna, you know, matter the most for aesthetic looks and things like that. This side that I'm gonna cut will be inside here. So if it's just a hair wobbly down the line or whatever, it's not gonna matter too much. So always utilize your factory edge cuts if you can. So like same out here, these are my factory edge cuts on the metal and there. So that'll just make for a cleaner build. Okay, so we've got all of the stencils marked out on there, all our lines that we need to do. So what I'm gonna start out with is I'm just gonna cut all the excess metal off of here, which is just mainly this piece. And then from there, what I'm gonna do is we'll cut out this little section here, there and there. A little trick for these rounded edges, if you actually just take a drill bit and drill a hole right there in that rounded edge, that'll give you a nice little circled edge there, and then you just gotta cut straight lines and you'll be fully cut and have a nice little cut. Don't ever try to take it and try to work it yourself, that's kind of hard. So just a little trick for the trade there. And everywhere else, after we do the metal shears, I'll probably just use like a cutoff wheel to make these straight lines. All right, so we got all the metal cut. I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling these holes here. So I'm just gonna use a center punch a spot, and then I'll use a pilot bit to drill through, and then from there, I'll use a step bit to get the desired radius and hole that I want to start with. So quick, easy, and simple. I'm gonna come a little bit farther out here from the line. If you see, I'm not gonna tap right on the line because you don't want to drill because it'll make it bigger. So I'm actually gonna come like right about here, knowing that I want my drill bit to step up a lot bigger. All this center punch does is gives a spot for the drill bit to bite into. So that way it don't walk. It'll drill where you want it to. Over my bit. And there we go. Nice radius around there. Now I just got to cut a line to there and to there, and you'll have a good cut. That's it. So from there, it's just a matter of cutting our lines. You can do that multiple ways. You can use the shears, you can use the cutoff wheel. I think I'm gonna try the shears first, And if they're just not working out for me, I'll move over to the cutting wheel. So from there, we just got a little bit of a cleanup to do on the edges right here. Mirror tray, show them that. You see the circle just needs ground out a little bit to make it look smooth. So just quick little grind. And there you go. Nice and cleaned up. I'll probably take a file to it and clean up the edges, but air compressor kicked on, you probably can't hear me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up the other side. We don't have a metal brake in the shop. So what I've done is I found a nice straight edge on my bench here, and you can find other things. I've used like the wood rails up on the stairs before to bend things. You know, use your imagination when you're finding something to bend. We've got a pipe on the backside to hold it, a couple clamps, and I've got the backside right on my line where I want it to bend. So what we'll do, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can kind of just get your hands down low and start working it towards you, getting that bend. If it doesn't want to go that way, you can get another piece of metal or something long, just as long there, to help push, so then it'll bend all at once, which is what I think I'll do. I'll grab another piece to kind of help relax it over. Got both of our bends done. Sorry we didn't record that. It had to take 2 hands after we got it clamped down, you know, just making sure we're not warping the whole metal. I had Trey up high, me down low, so we couldn't really record it. But yeah, got the bends in. We got them to the degree that we wanted to match the car here. So that's looking pretty good. So Trey's just working on getting that latch out, so we don't really need that anymore, and it's just kind of getting in the way over here. So instead of cutting more metal, we're just going to delete it. Like the Boosted Boys said, if you don't need it, delete it. So we're pretty much there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bead roller and I'm going to do a huge step in this. What that's going to do is it's going to make this whole metal a lot stronger. And since the wing is down low and it's not as high as up in the quarter, I'm going to try to step it up and at least get half of that distance up to bring it up here. So hopefully we can get a good step out of that. We'll find out. So I think that's our next step. Then we'll drill some holes in here, get it mounted on the car, and then from there we'll make our side wings on for that. So we held the wing up there. Me and Trey had it up real nice, and we had Katie come along with the Sharpie and mark out our curve. And that's right where the tail light goes right here. And so it's kind of curved there. Then we marked out all our holes. So next I'm just gonna go ahead, drill these holes out, and then we'll be able to kind of set it up there and mount it up there and check it out. One other thing I decided to do is it wasn't laying super flat because of these 2 body lines right here. So we just marked that out. We're gonna go ahead and cut those out as well, so then the wing lays flatter in there. Tail valance pulled off on this side, and I already got my wing strut put on. I'll kind of demonstrate how I'm going to do it on this side here. I've already got my holes marked out and drilled, so that should be pretty self-explanatory, but I'll pull this one off, we'll bolt it on, and we'll put our wing back on, and we'll figure out where we're going to land that bad boy on the wing. Hold that. Oh, just throw that on the ground there. Wobble this out. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little Loctite on the backside. You don't want these little tiny nuts coming off and getting all loose while you're at the track and things like that. So a little Loctite will go a long way. And all I'm gonna do is make sure the clevis is at a 90-degree angle like that, so it's just gonna go straight up and down. We'll tighten that bad boy up. I'm good with that. So now we're just gonna put the panel back on the car, and we'll be ready to put the wing back on and see where we need to drill our upper holes for the struts. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna just start out by leveling out the wing. I wanna get it level. The rods are at their shortest point now. So if we get it level, we can adjust the rods to go up and bring the wing up like this and get a little bit more air force down. So that's where I'm gonna start with there. Just make a little mark. Okay. Okay, so I went and got my little side panels made, and this is something that you guys can go and do whatever you want. You know, this is, leave it to your imagination on how you want it. So I made a little line up here. That's the line that's going to stick above the wing there. It's going to be about a 1/4 inch above the wing there, and then I made this line right here that goes along with the body line on there, and I'm just going to put a slight bend in there to follow that body line. So you can kind of see it from far back. I think that'll look pretty good. So like I said, leave that up to your imagination. You don't have to do yours just like mine, or if you want to, if it looks cool and you like it, go for it. But you know, your end caps can be however you want. I think that's just what's gonna look sleek and cool for mine. So I've got them both traced out on the aluminum over here. So I'm gonna get them cut out, get them bent up, and we'll get them riveted on there. Okay, so we got all my little side plates cut. I've actually got them both sandwiched together. And another little trick you can do to make them both identical is find one edge that's exactly the same, sandwich them together in a vise or something, or clamps, and then just take your grinder and just smooth out your edges here, and then it'll make both of them identical. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of clean these up a little bit, round off my edges over here, and we'll be ready to bend them up and put them on. That is what she looks like. I am pretty happy with that thing. It looks a lot tougher now with the little side caps on. Before, I don't know if I was 100% sold, but she's looking good now. It's still a little flimsy on the edges where I don't have the struts. So what I'm thinking about doing is just taking it back off and rolling a bead roll right along this edge here, just to stiffen some of this up. And I'm gonna change these as well. As you can see, they kind of stick up kind of high on the wing, so I'm probably gonna go in and get a different screw, maybe an Allen head that'll come down this way so it just looks better on the top. But you know, these were cheap. They were like 12 bucks. Nothing too crazy. So can't complain on that. Just do my own modifications and make them look better. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this off and bead roll that real quick, and then we'll get it back on. And that will be the end of the video. so I would say that is pretty complete. I am happy with that. We did do our little bead roll at the top here. It did strengthen it up quite a bit. I'm happy with it. It looks great. And so I think the only thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to order 2 more of these struts and bring them out here to the out corners. Once we start going real fast, I imagine this is going to flex down real hard. So I'm sure we want to have at least 2 more in there. It'd be cool to do another one right here, but we still got to be able to fill our gas, which, now that I said that, I really wasn't thinking about it. So we'll have to figure that out, make that easy, because that's why I did that in the first place, is so we could fill the tank easily. With the winging away, it might not be so much, but we'll get to that problem when we get there. So yep, I think 2 more struts and that'll be the end of that, and then we can take it back off and send it over to paint. So that is it, guys. I appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something, and I'm going to tell you right now, this wing probably only cost me about 30 bucks between the struts and the aluminum. The rest was just time and effort and a few tools that I had. You don't necessarily need all the tools that I had. There's other ways that you can get it done. That's what we're trying to show people, is that you can make it. You know, these wings, I haven't even found a wing for the 240 that's a drag wing. You can't buy these type of wings for the 240s. There might be somebody out there making them, but I can't find them. Just the universal wings are going from $400 to $600. So, I mean, I just saved myself, even if I call it $100, I just saved myself $500 by making that. So, I mean, put the time in, put the effort in. Maybe the first one isn't good, do it again, make a second one, you know. Every time you're going to get a little bit better and learn a new technique. That's the biggest thing, is learning new things. And keep striving for more. You know, my next wing that I make would probably even be better than this. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.